Hi, everyone. You're about to hear a brief summary of the first two episodes of the series, The Act. The story is based on real events. Springfield, 2008. After Hurricane Katrina, Dee Dee Blanchard and her 14-year-old daughter Gypsy were left homeless. A charity organization gifted them a new house, which they had just moved into. The shaved-headed girl sits in a wheelchair, wearing oversized glasses. Her mother controls her every word. The girl calls the woman her best friend. Dee Dee shaves her daughter's head again, moves her from the sink to the wheelchair, and then inserts a feeding tube into her stomach. She feeds Gypsy liquid food mixed with medications exclusively through the tube. The girl has to sleep wearing an oxygen mask. The family's medicine cabinet contains dozens, possibly hundreds of medications that Dee Dee takes at her discretion. Next door to the Blanchards lives a young woman named Lacey. She couldn't convince her mother to come greet the new neighbors, so she went alone. Dressed head to toe in pink, she finds Gypsy watching cartoons and drawing a prince. Gypsy is instantly interested in Lacey. She's never had any friends before. Lacey volunteers at the local hospital. Sometimes she dresses up for the patients and offers to do Gypsy's makeup. The girl happily agrees. Gypsy reacts excitedly upon hearing that Lacey has a boyfriend. She used to wear makeup for cosplay and loves dressing up as Disney princesses. However, Dee Dee watches the process with jealousy. Gypsy is thrilled with her makeup, but her mother immediately dampens a rag and demands she wipe off that filth. Dee Dee insists that Gypsy is too young for makeup. Tears well up in the girl's eyes. She wants to be like everyone else, but her mother doesn't let her. The next day, Dee Dee and her daughter go out to greet Lacey, her boyfriend, her mother Mel, and another neighbor, Shelley. Dee Dee claims that her daughter had her salivary glands removed, suffers from epilepsy, paraplegia, heart murmurs, and anemia. According to Dee Dee, her daughter will never be able to care for herself. Lacey offers Gypsy a cola, but Dee Dee immediately exclaims that the girl is allergic to sugar. At home, she frightens Gypsy with stories of anaphylactic shock that will supposedly happen if she drinks even a sip of soda. Dee Dee takes Gypsy to the mall to buy her yet another pink item. Gypsy asks for a necklace, but Dee Dee suggests stealing it. When no one is looking, the girl obeys, but Mel witnesses the theft. Dee Dee starts to worry that the neighbor might report her to the police. She wants to talk about it, but Shelley happens to be visiting Mel. To bond with the neighbors, Dee Dee throws a party. She walks around with a donation jar, supposedly collecting money for Gypsy's surgery. Children gather around Gypsy, who, as always, is dressed unusually. In the evening, Gypsy approaches Lacey and Mel, but they leave for the movies, abandoning her. Tempting cupcakes lie on the table. While her mother isn't looking, Gypsy tries to taste one, but that's when Mel appears. Dee Dee tries to blame the theft on her disabled daughter, but Mel doesn't believe her. So Dee Dee bursts into tears and claims Gypsy doesn't have long to live, and they don't have enough money. When Dee Dee sees Gypsy with a cupcake, she slaps it out of her hands, gives her an injection, and rushes her to the hospital. There she tells the doctors that 5 more minutes and Gypsy would have died. 2015. The Blanchard house is surrounded by police. The rooms are filled with hundreds of stuffed animals. A detective finds Dee Dee Blanchard stabbed to death, but Gypsy is nowhere to be found. 2008. Before bed, Dee Dee, as always, gently talks to her daughter, then takes Xanax. She has just received a check for $1,500. Dee Dee sleeps in the same bed with Gypsy. At 11 p.m., Gypsy removes her oxygen mask, easily gets up on her feet, and walks to the fridge. She wants to test whether she's truly allergic to sugar. Whipped cream from a can doesn't harm her at all. Earlier at the hospital, she overheard that the medications her mother gives her already contain sugar, so she realizes she can safely eat sweets. Moreover, her body is getting stiff from constantly sitting. When her mother catches her standing, she immediately orders her to lie back down and put on the mask. Gypsy obeys, but falls asleep with tears in her eyes. 2015. The gathered neighbors try to recall the long list of Gypsy's supposed illnesses and wonder how she could have escaped in her condition. 2009. Gypsy drinks Coca-Cola straight from the bottle, eats tubs of ice cream and handfuls of candy. All the while, she watches makeup tutorials. Dee Dee receives a letter that brings her great joy. Gypsy has been named Child of the Year in Springfield. This comes as no surprise. Dee Dee wrote many tearful letters about her daughter's condition. A large crowd is expected at the ceremony. From all the sweets, Gypsy soon experiences cavities and tooth pain. Dee Dee is convinced it's due to high stomach acid ruining her teeth. A gastroenterologist doubts Gypsy's salivary glands were ever removed, as she seems to swallow just fine. That means the feeding tube could be removed. Gypsy is thrilled, but instead of doing it, her mother insists on finding a more cooperative doctor. Eventually, the woman agrees to prescribe medication for acid reflux. Later at the pediatrician's office, Dee Dee asks whether any of Gypsy's many illnesses have ever actually been confirmed. While waiting, she even steals a stack of blank prescription forms. Even though the tube is no longer necessary, Dee Dee doesn't agree. From now on, she alone will speak to the doctors. 2015. While the police examined the dead body, the neighbors pondered who would have wanted to kill Dee Dee. 2009. While brushing her teeth, one of Gypsy's teeth falls out, and she panics. The next morning, Dee Dee prepares a mega cocktail of 7 medications, all mixed into a liquid. It all goes into Gypsy's stomach at once. Gypsy looks enviously at girls playing outside. Her mother finally lets her wheel over to the neighbors. In Lacey's room, Gypsy finds a puppy and is overjoyed. The girls notice Gypsy's teeth and are shocked at how bad they look. Gypsy confesses about her nighttime outings and says she's terrified her mother will find out. Dr. Lakshmi Chandra begins calling the doctors who previously treated Gypsy to investigate her medical history. A social worker arrives at the Blanchard home. Dee Dee quickly forces Gypsy to take some bitter medicine that makes her gag. Allison, the caseworker, came in response to a report from someone concerned for Gypsy's safety. The social worker ignores Dee Dee's tears and thoroughly inspects the house. Dee Dee brings Gypsy out of the bathroom. The medication has kicked in and the girl is dazed. Drowsy, Gypsy responds to questions sluggishly. The mother tensed up. She had forgotten the stolen prescription forms on the table. It was discovered that the house deed and its insurance were registered under different names, just like Gypsy's old medical records. Dee Dee blames everything on Hurricane Katrina, claiming that the disaster caused confusion with the documents. After the visit from the social worker, Dee Dee covers the windows with semi-transparent film so no one can look inside. She suspects that Mel filed the complaint and goes to confront her. She tries to play on her sympathy, but the neighbor insists it wasn't her. Later, Gypsy arrives at a dental appointment already under the effects of a sedative. She finds out that instead of treating her teeth, they will be pulled out entirely. She is devastated and begins to cry. When she returns home with a swollen face, Gypsy wheels over to the mirror and realizes she no longer has any teeth. During her bath, she sits toothless in the tub, sobbing bitterly. But as always, her mother insists that everything is fine. Gypsy's face is bruised after the procedure, but Dee Dee hovers around her, getting her ready for an award ceremony. She assures her daughter that she'll look beautiful. Just before going on stage, Dee Dee gives Gypsy a gift, a set of dentures. Why did she make her suffer so long and only give her teeth now? Under the stage lights, Gypsy is wheeled out to receive her award. The 2009 Child of the Year is given a generous prize, $5,000. Taking the mic, Gypsy sings a love song in her squeaky little voice. Her mother joins in. At a visit with Dr. Chandra, Gypsy is finally left alone with the physician. The doctor tells her she's not allergic to sugar and even offers her a Coke right then and there. It's possible more of her diagnoses are false. Dr. Chandra also replaces her feeding tube. 2015. Lacey confesses to her mother and then to the police that Gypsy had a secret Facebook account. Through it, she made friends and apparently even found a boyfriend. Gypsy places yet another unwanted toy on the bed, no longer wants to sing with her mother, and locks herself in her room. Dear viewers, if you'd like to hear more about the healthy family relationship between Gypsy Blanchard and her mother, please let us know in the comments. See you soon.